Most people think a dog licking you is just a kiss. A sloppy, warm, slightly gross sign of affection that you wipe off your face and laugh about. But what if that lick is something your dog has been using to say something specific, something urgent, something that goes so far beyond love that most owners miss the entire message? There are 7 real reasons your dog licks you, and only one of them is about affection. The rest are something completely different. And number 5 is the one that will change how you see every lick you have ever received. Number 1. They are tasting your emotional state. Here is something almost no one knows. Your skin is a newspaper, and your dog is reading it every single time they lick you. When you sweat, even slightly, even the kind of sweat you cannot feel, your body releases a cocktail of compounds that shift depending on your emotional state. Cortisol, adrenaline, and a range of other stress hormones all find their way to the surface of your skin. And your dog, with a sense of smell estimated to be between 10,000 and 100,000 times more powerful than yours, can detect every single one of them. A study published in PLOS ONE found that trained dogs could identify human stress sweat with over 90% accuracy, even when the samples were diluted far beyond what any human nose could register. But here is the part that changes everything. Your dog is not trained. They just live with you. And every day, through every lick, they are collecting data on how you actually feel. Not how you say you feel, not how you act. How your body chemistry tells the truth. The next time your dog licks you after a hard day when you are pretending everything is fine, they already know. They knew before you sat down. Number 2. They are rewriting your smell. This one sounds strange until you understand what is actually happening. Licking is not just taste, it is scent transfer. When your dog licks your hand, your arm, your face, they are leaving behind trace amounts of their own saliva, their own chemical signature. And that signature, invisible and completely undetectable to you, tells every other animal in the vicinity something very specific. This one is spoken for. Dogs that live in social groups, and every dog who lives with a human lives in a social group, whether you planned it that way or not, maintain a shared colony scent. It is the olfactory equivalent of a family name. In wolf packs, this communal smell is reinforced constantly through physical contact, through resting together, through eating together, and, yes, through licking. When your dog licks you, they are not just expressing something. They are literally rewriting your scent profile to include them. You become part of their family signature at a biological level. That is not a gesture. That is a declaration. Number 3. They are trying to heal you. Dogs have been licking wounds for as long as dogs have existed. And for a long time, humans assumed it was pure instinct with no real function. Then, researchers started looking closer. Dog saliva contains a protein called nerve growth factor. In a study conducted at the University of Florida, wounds treated with nerve growth factor healed twice as fast as untreated wounds. Dog saliva also contains lysozyme, an enzyme with antibacterial properties, as well as histidines, compounds known to accelerate wound closure and skin cell migration. Your dog does not understand biology. They cannot read a study. But somewhere in the deep wiring of their brain, there is a behavior that says, when the person I love is hurting, I use my mouth. You have probably seen it. You get a small cut and your dog is there immediately, head down, completely focused, licking with a kind of intensity they never show for anything else. That is not them being weird. That is 30,000 years of co-evolution saying, I know what to do. I have always known. Number 4. They are gathering information you do not know you are giving. Your dog licks you and then pauses. Their nose works. Their eyes go somewhere distant for a moment. Then they come back. Most people think the lick is the behavior. It is not. The lick is the tool. What comes after is the behavior. Dogs have something called the Jacobson's organ, also known as the vomeronasal organ, a specialized receptor system located in the roof of the mouth that processes chemical information at a level completely separate from ordinary smell. When a dog licks a surface and then lifts their head slightly and seems to go still or glassy-eyed, they are routing that chemical information through this second sensory system. They are processing you in a way that has no human equivalent. No scan, no blood test, no conversation gives them what a single lick does. You are an open book, and you never even knew the language existed. Researchers studying cancer detection in dogs found that dogs could identify certain cancers from breath and urine samples before clinical diagnosis was possible. Several documented cases exist of pet dogs obsessively licking or sniffing a specific spot on their owner's body that later turned out to be a tumor. The dogs were not trained. They were just paying attention in the only way they know how. Your dog licks you and knows things about you that you do not know about yourself. Number 5. It is their version of saying your name. This one took researchers by surprise. Scientists at the University of Budapest conducted a study on dog communication and found something that rewired how the scientific community thinks about the bond between dogs and humans. Dogs do not just respond to attention. They initiate it, deliberately, repeatedly, with specific intent. When a dog licks a person they are bonded to, the behavior follows a pattern. It is not random. It is directional. It contains timing cues. It modulates in intensity depending on response. What that means in plain language is this. Your dog licking you is a sentence. It has a beginning, a middle, and a point. And when you respond, they respond to your response. That is not reflex. That is conversation. Linguists describe language as any system of symbols used to convey meaning between individuals. By that definition, your dog's lick is language. A language built just for you, just for this relationship, just for the two of you to share. Every dog develops this licking vocabulary with their specific person over time. The lick that means wake up is different from the one that means I am scared. And most owners, on some level, already know the difference. They just never had a word for what they were experiencing. Now they do. Number 6. They are dealing with anxiety. Not all licking is about you. Some of it is about them. And missing this distinction is one of the most common mistakes dog owners make. When a dog licks excessively, particularly in a repetitive, rhythmic pattern, what looks like affection from the outside is often a self-soothing behavior from the inside. Licking releases endorphins. It is physically calming in the way that repetitive motion tends to be calming across many species. When your dog is overwhelmed, overstimulated, or quietly anxious about something in their environment, licking a familiar surface, including you, gives their nervous system something stable to return to. A study published in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science found that dogs in high-stress situations licked their owners significantly more than dogs in neutral situations. But here is the critical part. The increased licking was not associated with eye contact, tail wagging, or approach behavior the way affection-based licking typically is. It was associated with lip licking, yawning, and avoidance of eye contact. Stress signals that are easy to miss when you are focused on the warmth of the gesture itself. So, the next time your dog comes to you and licks with an urgency that feels a little different, a little more desperate, look at the rest of their body. They might not be saying, "I love you." They might be saying, "I need help." Number 7. It goes back to the first breath they ever took. Before a puppy opens its eyes, before they hear their first sound, before they take their first stumbling step into the world, they are licked. Their mother licks them to stimulate breathing, to clean them, to wake their circulation, to tell them, through the only communication available in that first hour of life, that they are safe, that they are found, that they belong to someone. That experience does not leave. Neuroscientists studying early bonding in dogs have found that the licking behavior of a mother creates specific neural pathways in newborn puppies that persist through adulthood. The comfort of being licked is written into a dog's brain before any experience with the world has had a chance to shape it. It is the first feeling they ever have that means safety. When your adult dog licks you, they are drawing on something ancient and pre-verbal, something that exists below memory and below training and below all the years of life they have lived with you. They are reaching back to the very first thing that told them the world was okay. And they have decided, somewhere in that wiring, that you are that feeling now. You are not just their person. You are the first breath. Scientists at Azabu University in Japan demonstrated that when dogs and their owners share prolonged eye contact, combined with physical contact, like licking or being petted, both species experience a measurable rise in oxytocin levels. The dog's oxytocin increases by an average of 130%, but the owner's rises even higher. The relationship does something to human biochemistry that even the humans themselves do not choose or plan. Your dog licks you, and your brain changes, not as a metaphor, as chemistry. There is also a less discussed dimension to all of this. Dogs who are separated from their primary attachment figure for extended periods have been observed licking objects that carry that person's scent, bedding, clothing, even shoes. In these moments, the licking is not communication with a present being. It is a way of staying connected to someone who is absent. A way of keeping the relationship real in the only language they have. It is the dog equivalent of holding a photograph. Except their version leaves traces of themselves on the thing they miss. Every lick your dog has ever given you was a full sentence in a language you were never formally taught. They told you they were reading you. They told you they were claiming you. They told you they trusted you enough to bring their oldest instincts right to your skin. They built a personal dialect with you, one word at a time, every single day. And now that you know what those words mean, you will never experience one the same way. The next time that warm, slightly too wet nose finds your hand or your cheek or your ankle, pause. Not because something dramatic is happening, because something quiet and true is being said. And you finally speak the language.